Thumbs up. Thank you, Mr. Dunford.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dixon. I appreciate your putting this together today, and thank you very much to Harwich High School for sponsoring this great event. It's wonderful to see you all here today. We have a lot to talk about, and it's wonderful that it's coming through the government and civics classes here. Again, I am Dave Dunford. I'm a native of Massachusetts, grew up outside of Worcester. Economics degree at Princeton University, followed by a master's in business at New York University in corporate finance. I spent about 30 years in the investment finance world and retired here to Orleans about 9 to 10 years ago. I have pursued a second activity in public service. I'm finishing now the last year, the 6th year of my term as a selectman in Orleans, and I look forward to continued public service as we move forward. I think importantly, as we talk about things today, we have to set the agenda. We have to set the issues. And I spend a lot of time talking with voters in the district, and the key concerns that are important on the minds of voters: the loss of integrity and accountability on Beacon Hill, the lack of job creation in this district, the high cost of living and the high taxes in the state, and the ever-expanding state regulations and mandates. All these issues are being ignored on Beacon Hill. It's going to be my goal as a representative to really address each of these. Now, importantly, I will have lower the tax burden on residents and businesses, bring reason and common sense to the state budget, reduce fees and regulations stifling growth, halt the expansion of state government, and restore trust and integrity on Beacon Hill. It's a pleasure being here today. I look forward to the debate.
Ms. Peake.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon, and thank you again for inviting me to participate in this forum. It's the debate I look forward to the most. And welcome to the students and teachers who are here. Many of you I know, and I'm sure I'll see you on election day as you're doing your exit polling at Harwich High School, which, by the way, has now gotten national attention and national renown. And I'm Sarah Peake, your state representative, and I'm running for re-election to continue to work hard and to continue to fight for you. You know, I was so pleased last weekend to receive the endorsement of the Cape Cod Times. And what they had to say, and I'm going to look over at my notes because it's a quote of them directly, and I don't want to misquote the newspaper. Known as a legislator who does not shy away from controversy, Peake has a track record of accomplishment. And that's what I offer to you and to the voters, is my track record of accomplishment. Fighting for you right here in Harwich. Fighting on bills that are important to you that your town meeting has sent up to me that we've gotten passed. Land transfer bills. A bill, an amendment that I put in the municipal relief bill to allow the community to bond the cost of dredging, which means it doesn't have to come out of the operating budget. It can be borrowed to cover the costs of those of dredging. There was a little problem with DOR getting your tax rate certified, and I got special legislation passed to ensure on-time tax billing, saving all taxpayers in Harwich thousands of dollars. I've been working very hard on creating and keeping jobs in the fishing industry, with the Open Cape project, reining in healthcare costs, and I look forward to doing more. I ask for your vote.
Thank you very much. The first question will be asked by Garrett Almeida.
Harwich needs a new high school. What can the state do to help? And do you support the Chatham-Harwich Regional School proposal?
We'll start with Ms. Peake, the second wall chamber.
Great, thank you for that question. I have been following and participating in those conversations and at your community meetings as the regionalization task force has been putting together the information. What can I do to help? I can do what I've done already, and that is to help bring people together. A year ago, I hosted a school regionalization summit, bringing together administrators and school committee people from all of the districts in the 4th Barnstable District. And some of the ideas that bubbled up there, some of the relationships that were built, led to the further conversation between Chatham and Harwich. I know you here in Harwich are looking towards regionalization, not only for greater educational opportunity, but this building is kind of old, and you need a new high school. And what the School Building Authority has said to you is if we're going to fund a new high school, we're looking at declining enrollment statistics, and you need to have a serious conversation about regionalizing your efforts, and Chatham seemed like the most likely neighbor. What I will do is listen to what your town meeting says on the 6th of December, what the Chatham Town Meeting says on the 6th of December, and if the people in both of those communities say, yes, let's move forward with it, I will continue to work with your Superintendent Cragen and with Superintendent Lanza in Chatham, and I will go to the School Building Authority and I will work with DESE to help make this happen.
Mr. Dunford.
Thank you, sir. There's no question. I think that the regionalization of the school systems here at the Cape is, I will say, it's an economic imperative. I first brought this issue up literally 6.5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I first became a selectman, as I viewed the Nauset Regional School enrollment that was declining and was projected to decline over the coming years. In order to keep the quality of the education that we have here in the Cape, which is superb, and you students, I hope you consider yourselves lucky to be here. You should. That it is superb. In order to maintain that, one was going to have to look at consolidating facilities and manage costs that way to continue to provide the good quality education. I very much back it. I look forward to seeing the specifics of the Harwich and Chatham regionalization issues, but I think that all makes economic sense from what I can see. What would I do as a representative? I would do everything I could to keep in touch. I think there's a great conversation going on right now. The two towns are cooperating and cooperating dramatically and effectively. I would keep in touch and see what Peake and Hill could do to facilitate whatever could or needed to be done. Get things through if there's any kind of potential funding or any kind of change in a regulation, whatever can be done. But it's important that Peake and Hill help out, and then once Peake and Hill makes a promise, that Peake and Hill follows that promise and helps this regionalization occur.
Next question will be asked by Ryan Polino.
Should the state allow casinos and gambling? And if so, what kind of plan do you support?
Mr. Dunford.
I'm sorry, that was a question concerning gambling?
Yeah,
Casinos and gambling.
Casinos gambling. My own position on the casino gambling is that I don't think that's the best way to provide jobs in this state. On Beacon Hill, as I would look at the bills that came out, I would be voting against the casino gambling. I think that that is an industry that is not the best type of economic job, sustained economic job that we need and deserve to have here in this state. I've been down to Eastern Connecticut a couple of times, and you look at what there is. It really is somewhat of a boom and bust industry. Right now, Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun are having problems, particularly Foxwoods, in meeting their debt. We don't need that cyclicality. We need sustained economic growth. We need businesses like back office that we have here in Harwich. So I would look to really push those kinds of businesses, not the casino business, and particularly, again, I've noted that in the casino business that it's very difficult to expand the benefits of what may be occurring. If you look at Eastern Connecticut, it's still, I see no change from the surrounding towns in the area, right around the particular gambling casinos. There's been no benefit to the local communities. I think that the casinos there's a better way to go in this state to provide jobs.
Ms. Peake.
Thank you. This is one area where Mr. Dunford and I agree. We both stand opposed to casinos. I've had the opportunity in the state legislature over the course of the last 2 terms to vote no both times on casinos under 2 different speakers. And by the way, if you hear any sound bites out there that, oh, if you're a Democrat, you always vote with leadership, and this is why we need an independent voice. My voice was very independent on this casino vote. Speaker DeLeo is a big proponent of casinos, including putting slots at the tracks that are in his district. He represents part of Revere. And I stood up to the speaker and to leadership, and I stuck to my guns and stuck to my principles and stuck to what I believe, based on conversations, emails, and meetings that I held in the district, was the will of the people in the 4th Barnstable District, and that was to say no to casino gambling. The most recent bill that came out, there was nothing in it for Cape Cod except risk and peril. Risk to our tourism industry as the potential for tourists to be marketed and driven to, literally, the casinos for their full spa, resort, hotel, as well as the gaming opportunities that they offer. A risk and peril to places like the Waquasit right here in Harwich that does a big conference and convention business, that those conferences and conventions would move off Cape. There was supposed to be some more local aid for our towns. Big deal. The 7 towns I represent would have seen only an increase of $117,000 spread among the 7 towns. That's chump change. We need to say no to casinos.
All right, the next question will be asked by Tyler D. Simone.
What can the state do to reduce unemployment and help families hurt by the current economic crisis?
That's an excellent question. And jobs, saving jobs and creating jobs have been my focus, certainly for the last term and since I was first elected. Some of what I have done is work both on a statewide level to support initiatives that create jobs, like supporting the biotech industry through a variety of incentives, supporting the film tax industry through supporting the film tax credits, and supporting the aviation industry. You know, we have an airport in Chatham, we have one in Provincetown, and of course Barnstable Airport that employs hundreds of people collectively among those 3 airports, supporting those industries. Specifically helping us here on the Cape, I have supported and helped bring about into reality, created the Open Cape project. I have lobbied the governor, I lobbied the Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs, and the Secretary of Administration and Finance inside of the Patrick administration, so that they listed Open Cape among the top 3 priorities for federal funding for the addition of broadband. Now, you guys know what broadband is. It's you know, how we carry data. We may all have Comcast or we may have DSL, but you know what? It's not robust enough for somebody like back office associates or like a doctor's office or a clinic or an architect to move large files. Open Cape is a huge economic tool. I've worked with our people in our fisheries. I've brought about greater economic opportunity for our aquaculturists and with our arts, cultural, and tourism segments as well.
Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. The jobs need to be created. This is the #1 issue that we have out here in Massachusetts, and particularly in the 4th Park School District here on Cape Cod. The #1 issue. We need to create sustainable jobs that we can depend upon year-round. How do you do that in this state? I'm an economist. You know my background. You lower the cost of doing business. You lower the hurdles for small businesses to initiate themselves and to grow. And you get some spendable income into the pockets of our consumers here. How do you do that? Importantly, lower the taxes in this state. This is the wrong time to be looking at tax increases. We've seen $2 billion worth of tax increases in this state over the last couple of years. Wrong time. We need to lower taxes. We need to particularly lower the sales tax here in the state to make products prices more competitive versus New Hampshire and Rhode Island. Let's help our small businesses grow on a competitive basis on product pricing. Second, importantly, let's really work with small businesses to lower the costs of doing business and the hurdles. Cost of doing business, the very high insurance costs in this state. Health insurance, unemployment insurance that is sinking our small businesses. We need to work on that. I would look forward to doing that. But importantly, lastly, we need to reduce the fees and regulatory hurdles on our small businesses from growing. Last night I was at a Farm Bureau discussion, and a couple times I heard the fact that there are high regulatory costs for them to keep doing their business. We've got to eliminate that.